Hi everyone, it's Kim with Vintage Vikings. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm starting a new series called Junk Journaling, Nailed It or Failed It. I've been working on making a bunch of new things to put into my journals, and while looking at videos or flipping through books, I look at some of these and think, wow, that's pretty easy. I'll try that. And I get all the supplies out and wow, it's not as easy as it looks. And then other times I look at something and I put it off and I put it off because it looks very difficult. And then when I finally try it, it turns out just great and it wasn't as hard as I thought. So I thought, how fun would it be that I will, once a week, I will pick a project from a YouTube or Instagram person that I've seen, and I will try to make one of the items that they've made with my own little twist on it, and we'll decide here, did I nail it or did I fail it? And I will definitely link the video in the description so you can then watch that video and then see how I did. And today I thought I would start with one of Natasha from Treasure Books. She just did a scrap buster mini notebook type video. And since that was the last one I watched, I thought, well, let's just start there. And every week I'm going to pick somebody different, and we'll give them complete credit down into the description. But I wanted to try her little mini, they look like a purse or a little handbag with a little beaded handle, and I thought that would be adorable to try. And so I'm going to try that one today, and we'll see if I struggle. I'll do just one. If I do an okay job and it's not too difficult, I will try doing maybe one with a leather cover and one with a paper cover. And so what she started with was just a bunch of your rectangle scraps. So I thought I would grab just out of my bin. We all have these bins of extra rectangle scraps. And so I tried to get some like colors. And I wanted to fill the insides, which I think by watching her, the insides are a little bit using thinner papers and the outside is a heavier, maybe a cardstock. I think that will hold up the best. So I did find this little offcut of something. It's like a textured paper that I had, and I thought I would do this for one of them. And then if we have a minute, I'll try to grab some leather scraps that we can try to do one with anyway. So I kind of did some browns and some silvers or some grays to see what we could come up with. So I'm going to just separate these out. I could have done this before. Okay. I think maybe these will all look good together and maybe these will look good together, but we'll see how much time we have here. So to get the basic size, we will fold this one in half, which will be the cover of the notebook or the outside of the little purse. Okay. Just going to, I'm going to use my pokey tool as my bone folder because I did not grab my bone folder. Okay, and we'll just see what else we have. This looks like this might match. And so I'm just going to fold it in half, each paper in half, about the size that I think are going to fit nicely in there, and then we'll go ahead and cut them. And I'm not doing anything fancy. I don't have a X-Acto knife or a box cutter to get them absolutely perfect. I'm just going to use my little paper cutter and my scissors. This one I turned, I don't know, the lighting is just terrible. This one is a gray. I turned this one inside out, and I'm going to use this one going this way. And this is just a little scrapbook paper that I found. 1, 2, 3. Let's do 4. Let's just do a beige or an off-white piece. I think that'll look nice in there. Alrighty. So the easiest thing I think we can do to just make this is to line up the one sides like this. Alrighty. I don't know how much my paper cutter is actually going to do. It says it's supposed to do 10 to 12 pages. Most of the time I can't get through 4 or 5. So we'll just mark that. And there's really no measurements. You just go by the piece that you've come up with your covers. So I'm just going to grab my little paper cutter. If you guys have a better cutter, I've tried 3 now and I really just don't like any of them. They don't seem to give me a good cut. And I'm not very good with the box cutter X-Acto knife way that everybody seems to just nip them right off. I tend to make a mess and they're never even, and I end up trimming them anyway. So right, there's those, and then we just have this last one. So far this doesn't seem like a problem, but I think most of us can fold and cut paper. And of course, did I leave my pencil already? And so this isn't the hard part for me. All right, so we'll just cut this off here. It's hard to see on this patterned paper. Yeah, with this one, this little knobby thing with the blade in it tends to come out all the time. Just pops out. And of course, see, I think I just cut off the section that had the other mark on it. I'll just remark it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I guess if I want to nail it, it should be closer, but we'll see. We'll see what I do. All right. So let's take our little notebook, our little stack of papers, and I think I want this one to be on the top, and then we'll do maybe, I kind of want to do maybe this one and this one, and I want the middle to have a pretty little inside. Okay. See, look, and they don't even match, and they're not that, I mean, they're not that, it wasn't that thick, so you wouldn't think I'd get much of a lip. Okay, so now it looks like I've got, and that's not going to look so great. It would be great if it was just a regular notebook, but because this is supposed to look like a handbag, let's just nip the ends off real quick and see if we've got it. See, I guess my measuring wasn't all that stupendous. We'll just use our fabulous little scissors. We'll nip this off real quick. Maybe I should practice more using that method with the box cutter or the X-Acto knife. Alrighty, there, that looks pretty good. Okay, so we've got the first part. Now what I'm going to do is to make it so it stays all together. I'm just going to grab some paper clips and clip it so that it doesn't slip all over. Okay, and so now we need to make the handle. So I did grab some, it's waxed, like waxed cotton or waxed linen cord. I'm not sure which this is, but it was gray, so I thought that would be great. So let me cut off a little piece, and gotta pull it a little bit closer so I can thread the needle here. Oh, there we go. Okay, so she says to tie a double knot is how she did it. So we'll tie a quick double knot. Okay, it's kind of shadowy, so let me see if I can move just a tad a bit. We'll do a double knot. We'll see how we like that. The trick is having the needle be small enough to not make a big hole so the knot pops through, but be thick enough to be able to get through. All right, and if we're going to do this, we need a little handle. So let's make a little mark. Again, I'm not measuring. I'm just going to, let's see. That looks about even. Alrighty, I don't think Gucci's going to be knocking at my door to come be a purse maker for them, so I guess we'll just go with that, and I'll just use my little pokey tool. I just have a little inexpensive pokey tool for my paper crafting. And just make a little hole there, and hopefully it's not too big the hole or that the knot comes through. Okay, so here's the trick. What we do is we start here. All right, that doesn't look like it's going to pull through. And I pulled some little beads from a necklace that I bought at the thrift store. I wanted the pendant off of it, and so there were these silver plasticky pearl bits. So I thought these would probably work for this. And I'm not sure that this is something that you can put inside of inside of your junk journal, because I think it might be too big, but maybe as something that's accompanying your journals, or just as a little gift you can use it, or maybe it would be a gift tag on top of your let's see how many we need, on top of a present, or you could hang it off of a gift bag. That would be adorable. Yeah, I just think with these, maybe a couple more. I think with these beads, I think it's going to be too thick to actually fit into a journal. All right, let's see how that looks. Oh, that proportion looks pretty good, I think. All right, and now we'll slip it back through the other hole we already made. Pull it somewhat tight. All right, well, look at that. It looks like a handle. So we're going to want to make sure it's nice and tight, because you want the handle to not be floppy like that. So let's see here. I just think with too much wear, that knot is going to just pop right through. So I think I'm going to second guess myself here. I'm going to take the paper clips off. I think we're done. I think I'm going to snip off the needle right. Let me see if it comes off. This wax thread is, oh, there it goes. It comes right off. Okay. We can use that for the next project if we can get to it. All right, I think I'm going to not do that knotted part. And we'll see if I can maybe just do it like when you're doing the 3-hole pamphlet stitch, where we can just tie it in a bow, or a knot, a double knot inside. Make sure it's super tight, and we'll see if that will keep it nice and tight, and then maybe that'll alleviate that that chance that the knot is going to come through. I've always found that in order to make a knot big enough, or to use string big enough that it doesn't come back through the holes, with the knot you have to use something pretty thick, but then you have to make a bigger hole to get 2 widths of it to go through when you're sewing it. So, all right. The nice thing about this waxed thread is that it sticks to itself, so it doesn't really come unknotted. So we'll go ahead and trim that, and let's see what we've got. Okay, so far I think we're doing it. I apologize, our lighting is just terrible here when the sun comes out, but just a little bit. Okay, and I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I just used 10 little beads. That's all right. Well, I think we need to use a closure, and she used 2 different kinds. One of her ideas was to use a what are these called? I just had the name of the bulldog clip, and I only have gold ones, so it doesn't really match. So I thought maybe I would try. I had a couple of buttons that I thought might work. I did not have a buckle, and I'll have to maybe look for some old belts or something, or maybe in the notions department. But one of these might. Let's see. Or a little. Okay, that looks like a clown nose kind of. I kind of like this flat black button on there. What do you think? Okay, let's try it. And then I have some just gray, pewter gray elastic. So I thought we could, maybe I'll just use that as a closure. And I'm going to, let's see if you can see, I'll trim this to make a little point on it so it will go through those holes a little easier. It's not a great, it didn't turn out super great. All right. Yeah, but it should go through. It should pop through. And I want to maybe do the crisscross button. So it looks like the button has been sewn crisscross. Okay, maybe that didn't cut as nice as I thought. Okay, so I can either do it where they go like this, or like, and I think to do traditionally, maybe we'll do we'll do crisscross. But in order to make a loop on it, because I don't think that, oh, maybe. Actually, I do kind of like that. Let's do that. Let's, then we'll make it about the width it needs to be. And you want it to stay nice and tight, so we'll do this. And I'm going to do I think it's called an eagle's nest knot, where you flip it through both together, because then as you tug on it, it just gets tighter and tighter, as opposed to a square knot that you can't, it makes it a little harder to tighten it when you don't have a beginning and an end. So I'm just going to do this type of a knot, and before I cinch it down, I'm going to make sure that it's the right length. And so once you tie it like this, then maybe it's, oh, I think I got it a little too long now. Then what happens is when you pull on it and separate it, then what'll happen is it just keeps getting tighter and tighter as you pull on it, as opposed to it coming apart. So let's see if I can get it a little bit smaller, and it doesn't look like I can. So see, I think we're getting closer to the failed part, but that's all right. I'll just try it again, and we'll get it right to the end. There we go. Big chunky fingers when you're trying to do things. It's like trying to tie a balloon. I'm not really good at that either. Okay, so if you can see the kind of knot I've done here, it's a knot, and I'm going to try to drag it all the way as far as I can to the end. Okay, make it nice and tight. And then I'll snip that off. And then what I'm going to do is pull the knot up here so you can't really see the knot, which means it's not going to be all that flat. But let's see how it works. It's all about trial and error here. Okay. And we will slip this little button on here. Okay, that's pretty cute. Let's move the button so that you can't see the big ugly knot. I guess that's not going to work. So it looks like we'll just pull the knot to the back. Okay. So there is try number 1. Doesn't look too bad. So what do you think? This lighting is just atrocious. There we go. Okay, so there's 1. And I think we probably, and the knot doesn't look too awfully bad, but I'm going to have to come up with a better idea. Okay, so there's 1. And we'll set this one aside, and let's see if we can pop off a quick leather one while we're here. Give me a chance to redeem myself on this one. And so I've just got these papers. I've got a little faux ostrich leather scrap, a little, just a kind of a brown piece, an off-white piece. No, I'm trying to think, do I want something that's a little stiffer? And maybe something, this is I think this is a little stiffer. Let's see if I can get this to go on its side. So it's about, I don't know, it's probably 1/8 of an inch. Let's do this one. Let's just try it, see what we come up with. All right. and I'm going to use my bulldog clip while I'm cutting the paper. I don't know if this is going to really matter. Maybe I can squish down the fold of that while I'm cutting the paper. Let's see if that helps. Okay. So again, I'm just going to take the thinner little, these are just offcuts from other journals that I've done, other ephemera projects. I think we all have boxes and boxes of these. And there's only so many things you can do with them. Just going to cut that so it's not in the way. And I think this cover's a little thicker, so I think maybe we can use a couple, we can do maybe 5 pages. That might give us a few extra pages. We'll fold this in half. Alrighty. And what I'm going to do is just get a ballpark using this. And I don't think they need to be absolutely perfect for the first part of this until we get them all together. But then this way, okay, and then I'm using the paper that has the dots on it so that I can use the dots as a little bit of a template. But I have noticed lately that with using scrapbook paper, the scrapbook paper is not always printed correctly or evenly on the sheet. And so so I tend to, if I really want it to be square and I don't worry so much about the pattern, then I will flip it over and cut it with the non-pattern side forward so that I don't get confused by looking at the pattern, which is not straight. Okay. I'm going to do these in 2 sections just because my paper cutter is not absolutely fantastic. And I bought it probably maybe a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, tops. So I really couldn't have cut that much with it that should make it dull or should make it wear out, that the pieces are falling off and whatnot. So we'll just move that to the side and get our little paper cutter out. We'll just do a couple quick cuts here, like this. See, 2 pieces, and so that'd be 4 total pieces, and it barely wants to cut through. And I got the most expensive one they had, because they had a coupon, of course, and it still wasn't great. I might try the rotary type next time. I do have a big guillotine cutter, but for cutting little stuff like this, I feel like I never get a nice or a precise cut, and it's just big and bulky, so I'm not a huge fan. Okay, there's that. I'll just cut these 2 real quick. This is probably one of the first projects I've done that doesn't require glue. Most everything else that I've made so far requires some sort of glue stick or Fabrifix or something like that. And so this is kind of a nice clean project if you're, you just want to do something real quick and not get all your glue and everything out. Okay, we'll see how well I did with this. Okay, so now I've got my 5 pages, and I think I like that one. And then we'll go, I guess this is like making a little mini signature. There's one there. We'll go with this brown. We'll go like this. And then I'll fold this one the opposite way so that when you open the little notebook purse, the inside has got a little pattern to it. Okay, and obviously my cutting was not really great with that. I do spend a lot of time recutting, and okay. Let's see, did that how it did? It did give it a nice little bit of a crease. All right, let's see how good I did with my estimating here. Get that right in the crease. Not bad. right, so that looks pretty good. I think it needs just a little nip off the bottom. I think the white or the off-white is showing a little too much. And if I'm making this for a gift, I probably wouldn't, I wouldn't be rushing it, and I would take a little bit more time to square off the edges. But this is my first try, just to see if it's a project that I would like to make again or make for real. And we'll see what you guys think, if I nailed it or if I failed it. So we'll see. But you'll have to go and watch Natasha's video first and see the actual original project. Okay, now I'm just getting fussy with that, getting persnickety. All right, so we'll fold this in half like so. Looks pretty good. And now I'm going to open it up, and I think the paper clips are going to be too, they aren't going to hold it. This is too thick, so I will use these bulldog clips to hold this project together while I put the handle on it. All right. And this one I only have a pencil, so I don't think that the pencil's gonna mark so well on this. So I think I'm going to just, I think I'm just gonna go for it. I think I kind of know what I'm doing. I'm going to move these. I don't like how it was on the other side. It didn't seem like it was holding very well. Okay, let's see how this is going to work. I'm going to look on the inside, and I'll just kind of jab it through from the inside, make a little hole. Enough to get the needle through, and using leather is just a little bit more difficult. So I'm going to go back through on the top like this. There we go. And then I'll look over here. This looks kind of brutal the way I'm digging at this. Maybe on this one I might have to find a small leather punch and make a hole in just the leather part of it. And I'm just trying to work the leather to get it to stretch out just a tad bit so I can go through with my needle. Ugh. This is a little thick. Okay, let's try this. Alrighty. And then I have some of that same, it's like a wax, it's a fake sinew. I thought this might work nice with the leather. I'm just had a little extra piece of scrap from another project, so I thought I would do that. Let's see if I can get this through my needle real quick. All right, got it. Okay. Now, same thing, but I think with this, I'm going to just get it through there. And then I'm just going to leave, like when you're doing a signature, and I'll just hold it with my thumb for right now. And then, okay, perfect. Now, I thought I found this little, I don't even know what it is. It's just a little finding. And I thought maybe that would be cute as a handle. We'll try it instead of doing the same thing with beads again. So I have a few extra, or a few gold fake, or should I say faux pearls, that will give this handle just a little bit more height. So we'll put these down first. So I thought we'll put these two pearls on first, and then we'll go through the handle. And I'm probably going to go through, instead of just once, I'll go through twice. But then this is going to sit on the top. This, I'm the sinew is going to sit through the, it's going to run across the top, so I might have to, Again, here we go. So then probably go back down through the beads and back through the leather. Again, this is all experimenting here. Okay, so what I did, this is a little futzy. I'm glad I had the clips to hold this project together. Okay, so what I did to start this one is I went up through around once and then back down through. Oops, I didn't go back down through the leather. Now I will take this, it's kind of hard to see, but I will now take this back and get it to go back down through the leather, holding everything nice and tight and not catching it on the corner. All right, there. So I think we've got this part done. And I might, just for security, I think I might do one little knot. Just one little knot through there. And let's hope this works on the other side. Okay, so I still have a tail there, and that doesn't show too much. Okay, now we'll go up through this hole. And I think it moved around a little, so I'm going to have to kind of fish through and see where the hole is. Okay, got it. So there I am up through this hole. Make sure it's not knotted or wiggly or anything. Okay, now I'll grab my last two little faux gold. I think these are glass. These are not plastic. I believe these are just those little glass beads. Okay. And then we'll go through here, pull it, and this one is going to get a little dicey because we have to keep it nice and tight. So I want to go through the handly part twice and get that to snug down. All right, so that seems pretty snug. Give it a little tug, but you don't want to tear the paper or the leather. And then we're just going to try to feed it back down through the two beads without it coming out. All right. So there we go. And of course the string has to catch on everything. All right, let's see here. And I'm going to give it another tug to make sure that it's nice and tight. Okay, and we'll try to keep it tight, but you don't want it to pull too much on the leather. Let's see if we can get it to go back down that same hole. There we go. And we'll snug it all up. All right, so then what we're going to do is, I'm going to see if I can get it to knot there. Just going to do a little slip knot there. And then for extra, we'll snip this off. Then for extra secure, we're going to tie it in the middle. So I hope this is not too confusing, as I'm just doing this on the fly and just trying to come up with it as we go. Okay. Let me do one more little, let me do a crossover knot. So this is just a plain square knot. All right, there we go. Let's trim it and see what we have. Alrighty, that seems pretty good. Here, let's put it on this. That's pretty cute, sort of. I think maybe I should have gone a little bit further apart, but I think it's okay for a notebook. And so just to recap, what I did was I went up through here, up through these two beads, and I went through this hole once and then through it again to make sure it'd be nice and secure. You probably, with this waxed thread, you could probably do it just once, but I just did it just in case. Then I went down through the 2 beads, tied a little knot here, then went back up, followed it through these 2 beads, around through the hole twice, back down, and then tied it together like this. I think it's going to be pretty secure. Now we just need to make a little closure for it, and then we will be done. And we could do, I know that one of her options was doing this, which I don't think this would be too bad with it being gold on gold. There's that. What do you think of that? I'm not completely unhappy with that, but let's see what else I can do. I did find a button. I found a gold, funny, it's a gold plastic button. I was thinking I could snip this off and maybe glue it on there and then run a piece of elastic around, but I think instead we're going to just take a piece of, I had this elastic like that you get off of a little present. So I thought, what if we, I guess we could do it one of 2 ways. We can tie it and then put it around like this, or I wonder if I tie it and we do it so that you can go around it like that. Let's try that. If I can get a big enough knot going underneath. I think that might be a little bit more secure if we do it that way. So I want to measure it. But you don't want it so tight that it's going to bend your leather down. So let's try this. Again, I'm just guessing. I have no idea what I'm doing. I didn't know how to begin with this. This has been pretty fun. All right, let's see if we do this. And we'll just fish that through the button. Let's see. Okay, that doesn't look like it's going to pop through. Maybe I will do a second one just in case, so it's nice and thick. Again, I think these are called an eagle's nest, an eagle's eye, eagle's nest knot. We'll snip this off here. And I bet if you put a little Fabrifix on here, then it's going to be golden. Okay, so now what I have is just this little button with this. And we can, if you hold it, you can just wrap it around the button like that. And then I think I may have made it a little tight, so it looks like it's going to pull a little bit on the leather. But if we just smooth the leather out, I don't think that looks too bad. We'll pull these down so it's nice and flat. I bet we could probably, if we wanted to, we could round the corners off by hand and see if that looked any better. I think I'd probably make this a little less tight, but I think that looks pretty cute for a little, maybe if I have it, there, you can see that one better. All right, so there you go. So there's try number 2 with a leather cover. So, and then we have, let's try one last thing. So I found this sitting here as I'm like, what if we took a little bob pin? I don't know if it's going to work. And I found this little key charm. I thought that would be maybe cute. The bob pin is the wrong color. I need a silver one. But what if you pop that around? Or probably a jump ring would work better. Yeah, I think maybe a jump ring. I think I've got one here, but I'll maybe change this to a little jump ring and have that hanging down like a little dangly thing, or maybe a tassel or something. I just had it sitting here on my desk, so I thought maybe it would be something to add. But I think for now, there we go. Let's see. We'll clear it all away, and I will let you decide if I nailed it or if I failed it. So let me know down in the comments below, and we'll see you for the, let's see, next week I'll put up another video of another project that we'll do together. So until next time, thank you so much for stopping by my channel. If you could give me a like on this video, it would help out a lot. If you want to be notified of further videos, if you could subscribe to the channel, that would be just fantastic. So thanks so much and have a wonderful afternoon. Bye-bye.